Hey guys, Adrian from McGallen Made Innovations, and we're about to start a scanning job, and I thought this would be the perfect opportunity to show you guys our workflow, so stick around. All right guys, so to tackle this job, we're going to be using our scanner for Peel3D. We've had very great luck with this scanner. It's been awesome. It's well made, great communication through the company. But before we get started, we got to do the most important part, which is taking calibration. Calibration is very important, so then that way the scanner knows where it is in relation to everything around it. So let's go ahead and get started. All right, guys, now that we have our software set up and our scanner calibrated, it's time to get the part ready. To get the part ready, we're going to cover it in these targets. These targets help position the scanner in space, making it a smoother operation. All right, now that we have our part prepped, all our targets are on the part, we're ready to start scanning. So we're going to go ahead and grab our scanner, start collecting some data. Alright, so we already have a good amount of data. Another thing that I like to do when scanning, and I'm noticing that we're having a little bit of issues with the color of the surface being too dark for the scanner to pick up, or reflective surfaces, I like to use some kind of powder. If it's not anything important, then I'll just use some basic foot powder, give it a quick little spray, and that normally helps. If I need something that's easily removable, I actually spend the money and get the actual scanning spray, which will actually disappear. But in most cases, a little bit of foot spray on the surfaces you're having issues on picking up in the scan make a big difference. Give it a quick little spray, and then I'm going to come back and attempt to get that inner bore again. That definitely helped a lot. It picked up a lot of that missing area in there. I think we're pretty much to a point where I can end this scan itself, and then we'll go ahead and reposition and take another scan from a different position and combine the meshes. All right, here we go. All right, we just finished the first session of scanning on this part. As you can see, we got a pretty good amount of data collected here. There are still some missing points in this area and underneath, but we're going to go ahead and clean this up and scan the part again in a different orientation to try to get some missing data, and then we'll combine those meshes together. So first we'll go ahead and go to the next over here, and we're going to go ahead and use this to get rid of this surface here, and hit OK in this case here. Okay, and then we're going to come back here, everything connected to this scan that we want. We're going to hit keep all right here, continue, and then we have the first section of the scan. All right, so now we'll go ahead and add a scan to this. All right, guys, we just finished the first scan. We went ahead and cleaned up that data on the computer. We got rid of all the data that we don't want, and now we're ready to take our second scan. In some cases, you can go ahead and scan your whole part in one scan orientation. Sometimes it could take 2 or 3, sometimes even more. It doesn't really matter as long as you get good information, you have good targets to help position your meshes together. And the software does a really good job of combining all those meshes. So we're going to go ahead and get started on this second orientation, and we'll go from there. All right, I was pretty happy with what we got in that orientation. I'm going to go ahead and clean this up a little bit, combine the two meshes, and see where we're at. If need be, we'll go ahead and do a third scan and go through that process again. But all right, let's keep moving forward. All right, here we are. We're looking at the second scan, the second orientation we just did. We'll go ahead and do the same thing as we did with the first scan. We'll go ahead and clean this up and get rid of the data we don't want. All right, so it's not the cleanest thing, but when we go to the next step, it should clean all this up. So let's go ahead and go to the next step and see how it does. Right off the get-go, it was able to combine the two scans and give us a preview utilizing the targets that we initially put on the part. So this is looking great. As you can see, these meshes are kind of giving you like this textured look. That's a good indicator that they're laying right over each other and that they have the same normal too. So we're going to go ahead and accept this, hit OK, and then this is going to work and think its way through. All right, next, everything looks good. We hit OK. Now we're going to go to the next step. Now what this step's going to do is going to go ahead and merge the actual two scans and clean up any noise or data that's not similar on the two scans. So we'll go ahead and take a look at how this does, and then we'll determine if we need to scan the part again in a different orientation to get more data. All right, as you can see, it brought it together pretty good, but we're missing some information on this bottom side. So I'm going to go ahead and roll back to our scan again. All right, and now we're back to this position here. So we can go ahead and start scanning from here, or we can go ahead and go to the next step, which is the clean, and then add another mesh scan. We'll go ahead and hit cancel in this case, and then now we'll come here and we'll hit add scan. All right, now we're ready. All right, guys, so we just finished cleaning up our second scan and merging them together. We had great results in the first attempt. Everything looked pretty good on the front side, but I wanted to collect a few more data points from this bottom side. So we went ahead and added a new scan. We're going to go ahead and start scanning this, and then we'll merge it one more time, and hopefully that's it. Let's get started here. But I think that will do it. So we're going to go ahead and do the same thing like we did on the last two scans, merge them together, and see what we get. All right, guys, we're back here with the third scan. I wanted to get some more information in this area, so I went ahead and just did another scan. We're going to go ahead and do the same thing. We're going to go to next. And then it didn't select the surface that I was happy with, so I'm going to go back and adjust it a little bit. And then that should be good enough for now. So I'm going to go ahead and hit continue, and that should get rid of all that information. First, let's make sure that we only have the data we want. Keep only. Hit OK. And then we're going to go to next to try to merge these with other scans. All right, guys, here you have it. All three scans have been meshed together. You see a little bit of inconsistencies here and there, but now we have to go through and use all our different tools to clean up the mesh, create new planes, new geometry to actually be able to either reverse engineer this or use it in our CAD software. All right, guys, so that's it for this part of the video. You guys saw us get the scanner, the software all ready to scan, got the part prep, got the part scanned, the meshes put together to give us a nice final mesh. Now we can go through, create geometry like cylinders, planes, holes, circles, anything like that. Go ahead and import it into our CAD software and use it for reverse engineering or use it to create new innovative ideas. Thanks for watching.